All right, unemployment. Unemployment compensation generally includes any amount received under an unemployment compensation law. So we see these in between. I think these are fairly common after your W-2s and your 1099 Social Securities. We do see some people who may have been laid off half the year and then started working again. And so you'll see these pretty often, and they're treated the same. So this is what a 1099-G is. So we have a 1099 NEC, we have 1099 DIV, 1099 INT, we have a W-2, W-2G, but this is a 1099-G, and this is for unemployment. And it follows the same forms as all the other forms that you've seen before. We have information on the left, data on the right, or the numbers on the right. And so it'll follow the same form. The only difference is when it comes to the 1099-G, it just asks you which state. And so we'll just put that in and put the amount that they received. And Social Security, it's similar to unemployment, but it's a little bit different. So Social Security benefits are payments made under the Title II. They include old age survivors, disability insurance benefits. Social Security benefits include monthly retirement survivors, disability benefits. They do not include supplemental security income. And so certain government retirees who receive a pension from work are not covered by Social Security. Some portions of the Social Security benefits received may be taxable. Generally, if the Social Security benefits are not the only source of income, then the benefits are not taxable. In this instance, taxpayers may not be required to file a tax return. That sounds like a lot, but most people, when they receive this form, Social Security benefits, like we just read, it said that most cases it's untaxable. It's most cases, but there are some cases where it is taxable. So let's say that they're receiving Social Security benefits, but they're also working. It's based on an algorithm. The system will take both the W-2 if they're working and the Social Security benefits and calculate the portion of the Social Security that does become taxable. Because if they start making, say they're getting Social Security benefits and they're saying, okay, well, I can't make enough to work, or they're receiving it for some reason. If they start working, then they're saying, okay, well, you got Social Security benefits as well. So it stops being taxable because they're also working. Is that the right understanding? So what happens is they start saying, okay, well, the more and more that you work, the more and more of your Social Security benefits that are starting to be taxed as well, to be included as income. So if you get just this form by itself, most times, often than not, they won't have a filing requirement. We'll still check and make sure, because it'll be under their filing requirement, or that Social Security benefits in itself are untaxed. But as soon as you see a W-2, you're like, oh, okay, wait, we're going to have to slow down. We're going to have to double check and make sure, because you have some W-2 income and you're also receiving Social Security benefits. So a lot of retirees get into some trouble because they're thinking that this money is also free, because that's what they tell them, this money's free. But then they start, doing a little side gig or doing some other jobs, and then they start having liabilities because they weren't taking out federal withholdings from the Social Security and treating it as income. Does that make sense?
Can you delay your Social Security benefits? Like if you're still working but past retirement age, can you delay Social Security that way?
Yeah.
And then you get that later and it's not taxed?
I mean, yeah, if you stop working and then you take it, yes, for sure. I mean,
if you're working past retirement age, you don't need to receive Social Security right now.
Yeah, not right away if you don't have to, yeah.
I don't know if it happened at a certain age or if you apply for it or whatever.
Yeah. You don't have to take it right away. If your retirement is enough to suffice you, then yeah, sure. Most people, because you're just receiving the Social Security benefits, it's really not enough, for them to survive. So, because they still have bills never stop. So some people feel like, well, I can still get out there and work and still try to. And so they'll take their retirement and they'll take their Social Security, and then they'll actually work as well. And so it gets them into a little bit of trouble. But you will see this form fairly often. I think I had somebody last year, and they had a gold-plated Social Security card. And so this is how we put it into the system. There's just a place for it like everywhere else. And click on it, and this is what it looks like. This one is actually a little bit more simple in the software because it doesn't have like breaks down and does all the cool stuff, and you don't have to put in a whole lot of demographic information. This one is just, what are the numbers? Put them in. Done. So the three boxes that we're most importantly looking at are boxes 5 and 3, and if there are any federal withholding. So we're looking for the total amount of the distribution, if there was any Medicare premiums, and if there were any withholdings. Most times there's no withholdings, and we're just looking at these two boxes, but we just double check. And it's hard to see, but I think there's one in the actual booklet. And so we just put them in, and if they're married, it'll have the spouse's information at the bottom. So if they both received it, you would just put in for both. All right, other types of income. Income that does not have its own line on the Form 1040. So it'll still be included and reported on the Schedule 1, but prizes, awards, gambling winnings, including lotteries, raffles from your W-2Gs, jury duty payments, even though it's $3, non-business credit card debt cancellation, health savings accounts from your not used for medical expenses. Usually, we will know about the health savings account before it even comes up because there's a special code on the W-2. It's a code W, and as soon as we see that, we say, "Where's your health savings account forms?" Because we need those. So the W-2 is a dead giveaway for this one. For different other incomes because the employer will still report it, and so we're like, okay, wait, you're missing a form. We need that form. For the rest of them, they would have to bring them with them, the cancellation of debts, as well as the interest on student loans. Those forms are important as well. So for the lesser types of incomes, the same thing applies. There's a other less common income section. We'll put them in as follows. There will be exercise where you will put in the gambling winnings for one of the scenario questions and some cancellation of debt for another, as well as some other compensation. So this is what a cancellation of debt form looks like. So when you have your debts relieved or canceled, this is what the form looks like. Pretty simple, follows the same forms as all the rest. We won't have to do the worksheet for proving insolvency because it's out of scope for the services of our program. We won't do the worksheet for this because that's not in our wheelhouse, that's not in our scope.